Hi everyone, I'm here to talk to you about spaying and neutering, or neutering and spaying. Neutering is basically a castration, and a castration is the removal of testicles of a male animal, and that basically removes their ability to reproduce. So that is neutering. Spaying is sterilizing a female animal by removing the ovaries. Now this has a lot of benefits, and I'm gonna go through those benefits with you guys. A fixed rabbit, fixed just means desexing, neutering, spaying. So a fixed rabbit lives longer than rabbits that aren't fixed, because the risk of cancer and urinary tract infections are greatly reduced. So fixing your rabbit will bring down the risk of getting cancer and urinary tract infections, so that just makes them have a longer lifespan and hopefully a more happier one. They are also less aggressive after being fixed. They are easier to litter train, they are much easier to tame, and they will like your attention a lot more instead of being focused on reproducing or hormone behaviour. This will help you make a stronger bond with your rabbit than you would have had if your rabbit wasn't fixed. So maybe your rabbit will like head rubs a bit more, maybe your rabbit will just like your attention a bit more instead of being focused on reproducing or like hormonal stuff. In some cases they can also be less destructive, so chewing can be reduced too. Well, from my personal experience, I know Oscar has actually not been chewing that much before, well, at least I've noticed the difference, because before he really used to chew a lot on the bars, cage bars. Now he's less destructive. I wouldn't say it's totally gone, because he still does it, but it's not as bad as before. They are also easier to bond, so if you want to get two rabbits, hopefully they both are fixed, especially spayed female and a neuter rabbit. They are the easiest to bond, they are much more easier, and that's the best chance you can get. They can safely bond with another rabbit without getting too aggressive, or impregnating the buck, impregnating the doll. So it's safer in terms of fighting and in terms of not creating more rabbits. So yeah, that's another positive. There is a risk. Now this is a negative. There is a risk that comes, anesthetic is not 100%, but if it is an experienced vet and they know what they're doing, then the surgery should go smoothly. Females can be spayed earliest around 4 months. Males can be neutered earliest 3 to 3.5 months of age. However, I would suggest fixing a rabbit between 4 to 6 months, because this is the most suitable time, as this is when the hormones start to kick in a bit. But this is just from my experience, it happens. It varies for different rabbits, but from my experience it normally kicks in around 4 to 6 months. I wouldn't really suggest fixing a rabbit around 4 months unless the vet is really experienced with rabbits and has given all clear, go ahead, and if everything's alright, then yes, that's fine. 4 months is fine. But if they're not that experienced and they haven't really done the surgery quite a lot, I would suggest waiting till around 5 to 6 months, because then there's less of a risk. But 4 to 6 months is the ideal time to get your rabbit neutered or spayed. Fixing rabbit can be expensive if you go to a vet that doesn't have experience or hasn't practiced surgery often. I suggest you go to a rabbit savvy vet who knows what they're doing, so you can get a more affordable price, and they can range from £40 to £90 and above for a buck, and £50 to £100. and above for adult. It is very flexible depending on the condition of your rabbit and the vet's experience. The buck is usually, it depends on the age, but it is usually cheaper to get a buck neutered than to get a doe spayed, because a spaying operation is much more complex than a neutering operation, and it takes a longer time, so obviously the vets are going to charge a higher price for a spay, but a neutering operation is cheaper. But that doesn't mean you should just get male rabbits, because females as well, they're just as much fun, and maybe even more in some cases. Well, from my experience, I find that they're a bit calmer than males. That's just my experience. Even if they're spayed or neutered, I just think they're a bit more calmer, more relaxed, and more easier to bond, I guess. But that's just my experience. I can't really say that. Some bucks are actually less aggressive than does, so that's just experience there. If your vet doesn't give you painkillers, doesn't give the rabbit painkillers for the surgery, do not get your rabbit fixed there, because it will most likely be in pain, and if it is in pain, it will struggle to eat, probably will reject eating. If your rabbit doesn't eat in at least 12 hours, it can get GI status and possibly die, so always make sure that you give painkillers after surgery, and also make sure you ask some extra painkillers, because painkillers they give after surgery will probably only last for maybe a day maximum. So it is really important they get painkillers. That's the most important thing, that they get painkillers, and also the time that you're going to get your rabbit fixed is really important as well. So make sure they will give painkillers straight after the surgery, and make sure you go and get extra painkillers, because the painkillers won't last, and just in case, because some rabbit they'll be in a lot of pain after surgery if they're not given painkillers. Males recover quicker than females, and females take the surgery much harder, so do expect some weird behaviour such as sitting in the corner, staring in the thin air. So females do take it more harder. If you're thinking about getting your rabbit fixed, you might want to ask some questions. I'm going to leave a list in the description, because obviously if I say the list now it's going to take way too long, but you can just get some points and ask the vets, because this is the most scariest procedure, and as an owner you are going to want to ask questions and make sure that your rabbit is safe. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I have left some in the description below, so please do check it out. I will be making a video on what to do pre-operation and post-operation, so you can follow it and make sure your bird has a quick recovery. Please make sure you give the video a thumbs up and comment, and also subscribe to keep your subscription list updated with videos similar to this one. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.